servant leadership.
Yeah.
Okay. I left the big banks and I was interviewing the next mortgage company. Found Movement, fell in love with Movement, but the other owner of Movement, the other founder, his name is Toby Harris. I don't know if you ever met him. You've met Casey.
I met Casey.
Okay, Toby was kind of like the brains behind the operation that did our structure and our process and all that.
Okay.
So I fly out to Virginia Beach and I sit down with him, and I'm this cocky 30-year-old that had been rising through the ranks of middle management, and he says, "So Josh, what do you do in a day?" And I rattled off all these reports, and I check this and I do that and I email this, and I thought I was like crushing it. And he goes, "Josh, I need you to stop doing all of that, every bit of it." Okay. And he says, "I'm going to tell you about servant leadership." And he says, "From now on, you work for the loan officers. It's your job to clear the path. It's your job to mop the toilets. It's your job to make sure that they can be successful and not be thanked for it. And that's what you're going to do. Don't manage them anymore. Just clear their barriers, clear their hurdles, say yes." Okay. And when I got back and I loved it. I spent my first 6 months just pouring into that, hiring people that didn't need to be managed and practicing servant leadership.
Yes.
Okay. Now this is where the story gets funny. So I was not raised in the church. Okay. So I had never heard that term before. So I'm walking in my neighborhood and I come across some neighbors and I said, "Where are y'all heading?" And they said, "We're heading to small group." And I know that's Bible study that's been rebranded and it's now small group. Okay, so I know what small group is.
Right.
And I said, "That's really cool. What are y'all studying today in small group?" And they said, "Servant leadership." And I said, "Are you serious?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "You're studying Toby Harris?" And they said, "Who's Toby Harris?" I said, He's the founder of Movement, and he invented servant leadership. How are you studying servant leadership but you don't know Toby Harris? And they said, "Josh, he did not invent servant leadership." I said, "Who did?" And they stopped for a second, and they said, "Jesus." I'd never heard the term before. So I had no reason but to believe that this was Toby's thing. Toby's thing was servant leadership. Okay.